Well, as we move forward here in Age of Mythology for what may be towards the end of the game, the Egyptians play a gather all resources card again, and they grabbed themselves a bunch of stuff, but they're handing an advantage over to the Norse at this point, who really want resources, have this shot at ending things with most buildings. Well, they have a shot, they have the lead in the most buildings, that's got the most chips on it, because I think 4-7, yeah, same amount, but they have this lead with 2 points over here. So just getting the wonder isn't good enough, and they're in the running for largest army as well. So in a lot of ways, the Greeks are getting screwed over by what the Egyptians are doing here. Anyway, we'll see what turns out from it, but I don't think that this was a great move by the Egyptians. I'm not positive. And the Greeks open things up with a 7-card attack card from the bonus pile. No special abilities. They're sending a horde, a lot of their mythical creatures going in. Pretty much everything they've got, but they don't have a hero. You know what? It's kind of a weird thing because the Norse are sending the Jarl in, who has a bonus versus heroes. Maybe they weren't paying a lot of attention, but they chose to do that. So and it's hard to tell, you know, when you look at somebody's hoard of stuff, all these minis, I can't expect that somebody's going to be able to make that kind of decision in an informed manner, unless they pick through the other guy's stuff carefully. Hey, what's this? What's this? What's this? And frankly, I can't see that happening. I think a game that would be like that would be really even more annoying, and that's one of the problems with this, is that to play it in an informed manner is really hard. You have to know what the other guy's deck is like. You have to paw through it. You got to paw through their pieces. Wow. You know? All right. So I'm going to start this battle, and I'll come back and let you know what happened, unless something exciting is happening in Madrid. I think the Greeks are going for the gold here. They're going to fight no matter what. What are they trying to do? Oh! Whoa, the Norse get another card. They're going to throw... We don't have a lot here. They're going to put throwing axemen in too. If I can find them. Just to give them as much of an assortment. They've got their dwarf in there, all kind of cool stuff. Alright, so they've got an extra unit which is kind of potent in and of itself. I think the Greeks are going to go for resources. Well, the Greeks opened things up with a horrible matchup. They went with the Hippocon against the Nidhogg. I mean, not horrible in terms of any kind of bonuses, except this gets 7 dice versus this is 3. But the Greeks with their 3 dice actually won the battle. The Nidhogg is dead. They don't have another one in their stock. It's a good start for things for them. They're feeling pretty comfortable. The Greeks followed up with an advantage here. They got the Medusa, who gets 11 dice versus a giant against the Frost Giant. Killed the Frost Giant as well. And they're tearing up here. The Norse aren't sure they really want to fight this anymore. If they lose the battle, no victory points go over, and they lose some resources, but they think they're far enough ahead they can give that up to the Greeks. I'm going to withdraw them. They're still not in bad shape. It's just there's not much at risk here. Yeah, they're pulling out. They don't like this fight. They think they're getting their butts kicked. And the Greeks are going to get to choose 5 resources from the Norse. And then we go back to the Egyptians. Okay, and swinging through again, we're on the last turn, which is the Greeks. They're attacking again, but the Egyptians did a big build and got themselves a market, a monument, and a great temple. They're going to try to compete on the same level as the Norse are to try and buy some of these. The Norse haven't gotten any yet. On the Norse turn, they advanced in age. I'm not sure which age it was. I thought they were only a classical, but this maybe got bumped or something, or maybe it was really there. I can't tell, because there is no real way to determine that. I'm thinking if I liked this game, I would fashion some sort of slider to cover those that clips to the board so it doesn't bounce around when you're moving your pieces. Anyway, now they're in the heroic age. Whether they were before or not, they paid to get there again. Anyway, we've got a battle, and here are the forces we have, and you can't tell what they are by these. But most importantly, the Greeks have this hero, and that hero means they're again going for resources, and that hero means if they win a fight using him, they force their opponent to retreat. Now, the Norse have an extra piece, and they may be taking that into account as well. I'll roll some dice, see who gets what. The Norse got the matchup they wanted, which is the Jarl, who has a big bonus against heroes, bringing him to actually higher than this. Took a couple of rolls, eventually they won. The hero is dead. Okay, well, the Greeks are going to stick around, so we'll just keep going. Well, this one went down to the bloody end. One Jarl was left for the Norse. Both armies were destroyed by this battle. The Norse hero died. The Hydra got +2 to its die rolls from killing creatures. It was pretty exciting. The Norse were at a severe disadvantage on the last couple rolls. Well, on the last battle round, but they only had one Jarl left. It seemed worth trying to protect 5 resources by giving up 1 unit, even if it was pretty guaranteed, because they're not going to have the largest army probably now. Certainly they're no longer in the good running for that. All right, so that was all the way around, and we got to do another turn. Now, as far as I know, heroic age for the Norse and the Greeks, and all the way in the mythic age for the Egyptians. They can buy a wonder whenever they like, but there's that edge there, and as long as that's there, and this is here, they can't do it. They have to get some kind of advantage. Now, maybe largest army. What do they have? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right now they've got it over them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. No, the Greeks are going to get largest army right now. So the Egyptians still can't take a win right away. All right, so we go. And not that they could anyway. They'd have to have played a turn. And yeah, it ends immediately. So if they had the resources, and they don't, they need 10. They would have been able to do it this turn if they hadn't done that massive build, but they need 10 of each to be able to build the wonder. So even that's not really an issue. All right, well, we'll move on. There's going to be 3 more victory points to place. It's going to be the Egyptians wouldn't even be going first anyhow. I got to decide what gets thrown out. I think everybody's within their limit on resources. So here we sit in what may be the last turn of the game. I'm not positive. In terms of 3 card plays, it may be over during this. The Norse, well, first of all, the Norse are going first. Placement, Norse, of course, went with the most buildings. Greeks went with one last battle. I'm not sure why. They pretty much know they just can't win, but and the Egyptians went with the wonder. In terms of card picks, the Norse are looking at, hey, if I can get up to the mythic age, maybe I can buy the wonder, force this thing to end. That may be the best answer. The Egyptians are looking at, hey, if I can build the largest army, and I'm not far from it, then I can build the wonder and win. The Greeks are looking at, I just want this to end, but I'd like to take my revenge on the Norse, because they haven't done very well by me from the very beginning, and I've been trying to hurt them and only doing so. So the Norse took a gather and grabbed a bunch of resources. The Greeks did a recruit, pulled in a decent sized army. They're up to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, as opposed to the Egyptians were 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the Egyptians need 4. Well, they have a humongous card for what they're trying to do. Recruit fertility fast. If they recruit mortals, they only cost 1 food, I guess. It says they cost 1 food. So I'm going to use that god power, and I'm going to build myself 6 mortals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'll pick which ones in particular. This is putting the Norse in a dangerous position where they may need to build more troops in order to prevent the Egyptians from being in a position where they can win, or else have to attack the Egyptians. We'll see what happens, but that triggering is going to be a major game changer, I think. So the Norse decide to build up their army, figuring they're threatened by the Greeks, and more importantly, perhaps, if the Egyptians have a gather and a build, they can probably win the game as it stands, especially if the Greeks attack. So they built themselves 2 of these heroic heroes, kind of like giants or something. And then the Greeks, not being one to roll over, because nobody likes somebody who will just give up, are playing this gather card, which allows them to not only do what they're doing, but also gain an additional 7 resources by killing a unit in exchange for activating this god power. They're going to do that, and that's their hope is if they can force the 2 leaders into some kind of fight for the victory, maybe they can sneak in there. We'll see. Well, the Egyptians probably had enough raw resources to have bought the wonder, but they couldn't do it because there weren't any resources. They couldn't do a gather because there weren't any resources left to produce. So instead they did a built themselves a quarry, which will make things a little cheaper, presumably, and a wall to defend the city, which isn't going to work against the Norse. Not sure what is happening in this 3rd round around. So the turn ended without the game ending. We got 3 more victory point chips that are going to go out, cards be dealt, etc. Things are kind of in flux right now. It looks like the Norse are going to get the most buildings, no matter what. Unless some kind of vile battle happens, the Egyptians have a real claim towards largest army. The wonder? Who can buy it? I mean, it's a matter of, yeah, it's a lot of points there. Right now, the only person in the position to buy it are the Egyptians in the Mythic Age. Everyone else is sitting in the heroic, well, the other 2 are sitting in the heroic age. So it's a bigger expense for everyone else, but everybody else has more chips. 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, although some of those are going away. 2, 4, 7, okay. The Egyptians are really low, so they're going to have to do a gather. They don't go first, the Greeks do. The Greeks are probably going to do a gather just to prevent the Egyptians from getting a quick win, but we'll see. Alright, I'm wrapping this one and sending it up.